Good afternoon, I'm Rob Krieger. A letter from J.P. Morell's office states dismay and extreme concern regarding Mayor Latoya Cantrell's travel to a conference in Washington, D.C., despite the City Council's recent ban on non-essential travel. In the letter from Morell's office, he writes to Chief Administrative Officer Gilbert Montano and the city's Director of Finance, Romy Samuel. The lengthy letter condemns Cantrell's travel to D.C. this week and says, given the administration's claims that the city is headed for a potential fiscal crisis, it is simply beyond the pale that the mayor would ignore an ordinance designed to address the fiscal crisis that prompted her to withhold funding from Orleans Parish school children. If the mayor seeks to learn about best practices in leadership, she might begin with, quote, obeying the law, Morell writes, and with quote, leading by example through self-sacrifice and financial discipline. Neither lesson requires a trip to Washington at taxpayer expense. Some background: in a news release last night, the city announced Cantrell will attend the conference in D.C. hosted by Yale University. It says the event provides an immersive learning environment for mayors nationwide. The city says this annual conference was confirmed on the mayor's schedule well before the recent council ordinance. Cantrell traveled abroad at least 8 times in the last 2 years. According to press releases from the city, Cantrell traveled first to D.C. in January of 2024 for the U.S. Conference of Mayors winter meeting, then to Miami for a climate forum, then Atlanta for a mayor's summit. In May, she flew to Montreal for a climate summit. In June, she traveled twice, first to Atlanta for a financial services conference, then to Kansas City for a mayor's conference. In December, she flew to L.A. for an anti-Semitism summit. Then this January, she was in D.C. again for a mayor's summit. And now she's traveling back to the nation's capital for the Yale's Mayor's College Conference. In all, at least 9 trips since the start of last year. At-large Councilmember J.P. Morell says the travel ban was in response to the administration's concerns about finances. Other council members also responded to the ordinance.
If it helps balance the budget and make sure that service delivery is priority, then absolutely. I mean, you know, we'll do conferences online. We'll study online.
Obviously, it's one thing if you need to go to Congress and lobby for something or go meet at the White House, but these you know, sister city types of agreements, things like that, traveling internationally, that's just not necessary.
Now, the mayor says when she returns, she'll participate in community engagement efforts, supporting a program for future youth leaders. It's unclear if that has anything to do with the summit she's attending in D.C. We reached out to the mayor's conference for more information on that and about the letter, but they haven't responded. Well, it certainly feels like spring out